I'm Imperium,
And I'm Mishka.
and we have a really fun interview for you guys today. But before we get into it, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Leslie, who I met at the Lights concert. Thank you so much for coming up and saying hi. This is for you. Love you. Can't wait to give you more PremoDonnas content.
Yes, now before we get into it, in a world that feels like it's crashing and burning every day, sometimes you just need to get lost in some fun. Some not so serious hyperpop music. Cue Movie Stars with a Z. The new creative endeavor from LA based duo Tyler Nichols and Alex Palmbar. They have created a full musical experience incorporating genre defying sounds, insane visuals, and high quality fashion for a community of people looking to break boundaries and defy the mundane.
Let's meet movie stars. We are here with movie stars, Tyler and Alex. I heard that you guys met at a Plus 44 show in 2006 and now have this hyperpop duo. Can you tell us more about that?
We literally met in line, like waiting for the show, like the way you like go wait for a
Mm.
show and start
Yeah.
talking to the person next to you. He just happened to be the person next to me. And then once we realized like we lived like two main blocks
Oh
away
my
from each
God.
other, and we just started to hang out so frequently, kind of immediately. Alex was kind of like immediately adopted into like our friend group at that time. And then started playing in all of our bands, and we have done multiple projects together, everything. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So always
Yeah.
make
Okay.
friends with people online. You never know who you could be talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have pop punk roots and now you're in this like hyperpop experimentation.
Right.
What drew you to hyperpop as the main sound?
I think we took a ton of influence from like a bunch of stuff. I think we definitely brought like a ton of like electronic things to it. I think like
Mm-hmm.
we've always been huge fans of other styles, but I think like always leaning to just anything catchy.
Yeah.
Um, and
Mhm.
then this just like we were making sure and wanting to pull like way more like electronic influences just to be able to like, because we like it. It's like what we like listening to and just what I would gravitate to like put on in my car anyways.
Yeah.
So I just kind of what we were thinking is just make stuff we actually like want to listen to now.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think like stepping out of the boundaries of the pop punk world a little bit, just because going back to what Tyler's saying, we enjoy listening to other music other than like a Blink or a Newfound Glory. We heavily are like into Charlie XCX and that production of those things. So like anything electronic, anything dancey, catchy, we were just, big fans of that kind of stuff. So, and then as far as like, I play bass, he plays drums, we wanted to kind of experiment outside of our world and see if we can kind of replicate things that we like. So, yeah.
Okay. So you guys worked on other musical projects before this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had like my childhood band that I was in, like, with from high school, like friends, that kind of thing, that we actually did like Warped Tour and stuff back then. This was like when it was still very prevalent. And it was the whole tour, wasn't just like a few dates. But
Mhm.
we were a part of that, and the projects that kind of came past there, me and Alex were a part of, and we had friends that had solo projects that we would be like bass and drums in, and we would play live shows with people just that would ask us because they kind of would be like a 2-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
We know someone, you got a bass player and a drummer, cool, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've always kind of creatively meshed and always like a lot of the same stuff and listen to a lot of the same stuff. So it was just a no-brainer for us to keep working together.
Mm-hmm.
And so like what was that conversation like? Like you've already said you wanted to make music you liked listening to. And was it just you were jamming out together one day and then all of a sudden like, hey, let's do a thing? Kind of, or
Yeah.
was it a discussion? Like how'd that go?
Well, I'm in a couple other projects or bands right now, and Tyler actually was in the band prior to the one I'm still in, and just creative differences there with the other members in the band. And Tyler and I kind of spoke on the side. Obviously we've known each other the longest, and he obviously came to me with an idea of like, hey, let's let's figure out and do something together. And I'm, to me, when it comes to music and making that kind of stuff, it's like I'm always in, so we want to do like a pop project, or we want to do like a rock project. I'm always into that creation of the whole thing. So yeah, we
I
had
would
a
always
conversation. Yeah.
I'd
Go
always
ahead.
talk Alex's ear off on like trying to like build a world and build like a bigger like I just try and reference like gorillas a lot just because they
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know it, you never think of what the gorillas look like the band members. And obviously it's Damon Albarn
Mhm.
and he's the guy in Blur and that whole thing. But you really just like see their art and their music and their visuals and their aesthetic and their merch. And it's like even their live show, it's like they have so much going on behind them. They're almost making you want to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very intentional with this too, because then I feel like that's how they get away with doing so many different styles. And it's just like a gorillas thing. That's what I really wanted through this too. It's just in the like pop punk, alternative, dance, hyper pop world, be able to like have just we're movie stars, but we can kind of like dance over here for a second, go over here for a second, and it all still kind of makes sense.
Got you. Okay.
So that was definitely like the bigger vision and like goal with it is to be able to like do those things. So I would like talk to Alex for like hours and hours, be like, no, but like it needs to and get
Yeah.
all like high brain and like
Yeah, I mean, like
be like, but like
hours.
see
Yeah,
it really, like if you
hours.
really see it, like like no, like this, but a little bit of this with a little bit of this too, and then and then it did morph into. I think we're very happy with. I think that it did become that, so it's cool.
Yeah, it flowed.
Time well spent.
It flowed really well with creating the whole album, and even just doing the demos prior. It was just a nice flow. It just that's when the good music kind of comes out, when but both people or the whole band's on the same page. I feel like the music comes out good that way all the time.
Got you.
It's
Okay.
a little bit easier when it's a collaborative effort rather than constantly butting heads trying to like get your ideas across.
Totally, totally. Because everyone's different. Everyone has their creative influences and differences, and if you guys just keep meshing, it's just like it just takes more time away from the creation. So you know,
It was so easy for us. Like we could do it any day of the week. Me and Alex could link up. It was literally, this is how we really wrote all the music to this. We just really focused on the like instrumental part of it before writing any like hooks or choruses or lyrics to anything. Because I even wanted to sit on just the music itself for like 5 months, 6 months, a little while, just to like make sure I still even like that. Like they always say, like if you write a song, like do you still like it a month or two later? That's how you know it's a good song. I just wanted just the pure music to like grow, like stick with me. But we would just like link up. We'd listen to something that either I was or he was kind of fucking with that week or listening to, and we would just kind of jam out a couple like inspo songs and then just kind of pull up sounds and just start messing around and riffing off each other until we liked it. And then just like, okay, let's stick with that. Let's build on that.
mhm,
And then let's make that something. Let's make that the hook. Let's make that the chorus, kind of building the song structures that way, just through like sounds we liked. And then there'd be stuff we would step away from for a little bit and then come back to and say, wait, no, that should be the back half of this. Oh, those
mhm,
would work so well together. And then
Uh,
so songs are created like that a little bit too, where it wasn't even intentionally like, oh, it's like a little 30-second thing we made. Let's just save that, put that to the side. And then we'd work on something else, be like, wait, oh my God, no, that's so cool. Let's put that
mhm.
here. Um, and that's how like a lot of it actually happened. So it was very like purposefully like unintentional. You know what I mean? Like we very purposely just kind of like have no boundary on it and just smash things together just for the sake of doing it.
Okay. So it sounds like you spent
mhm.
quite a long time producing this album and like sitting on the music, like you said.
Yeah, the whole thing in total is a little over 2 years. I think from like if we look like our first like musical instrumental demo to like the final record being done, like yeah, about 2 years.
Okay. Wow. See, of the two of
Wow.
us, I'm the pop side of things, and Imperium is the alternative emo side of things.
Okay.
Oh,
And
rad.
Who would have guessed?
who would have guessed,
Obviously.
right? But I think that it's, in this kind of commercialized world of music that we live in, like Charlie XCX just drops Brat, and we were all like, oh, this is amazing. And then she's got a deluxe version, and the rollout was so smooth, kind of, that
Yeah.
as consumers, we kind of forget that like people put a lot of time and energy into building an album. So that gives us a little bit of like inside perspective, which is kind of cool. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
I love when like we're both, not to like jump to the other stuff too, but we're both like we both have fashion and clothing and just design. Like sometimes like we'll send, when people send each other memes, me and Alex will send each other like artists that we like find on Instagram, like, and not even like musical art, like visual artists, like,
Yeah.
they make just art. And just because like, oh, I like their style, they're like, they got a good vibe going on. So we're just like always looking at stuff like that. And it was like very intentional in all these conversations too, of like what the art looked like. And I think that was, I know Charlie just posted that with Brat, of like all the Pantones of the different greens she was looking at for the Brat green, and how many like versions she would weigh between. And like they ended up winning a Grammy for the best packaging, which like it absolutely should have. It was such, that green will forever be Brat green. Like it was so cool that so much like thought and intention was put behind it. That's what we try to do a lot with this too.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of intention with Brat and like the green, like you said, but it didn't necessarily feel like there was a lot of effort put into it. Like it was kind of effortless
Oh
in a
yeah,
way.
and that's the best
Yeah,
part.
to the layman. Yeah, to the layman, you're looking at it, you're like, oh, it's green with some sans
Just
serif type.
sans,
Like that's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Anyone could do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it comes from here.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, do you guys see your music as escapism, rebellion, or just kind of like a creative outlet?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'd say it's just a creative outlet, honestly. Yeah, I don't think it was escapism by any means, but we both are just such huge fans of music. I think we ended up becoming just such a big fan of what we were making. It was just, we were having so much fun doing it. It was like going outside when you're a kid and like skateboarding. You're like, oh, it's fun. Like this is
Yeah.
just what this was.
Yeah, I mean, if the listeners perceive it that way, where it helps them escape some kind of thing that they're going through, then totally, yeah, I'm definitely with that. I mean, we definitely talk on some topics about doing music and the struggles and meeting your idols and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that in there, but if they take it that way, then I'll take it. But yeah, a creative outlet, something fun for people to just blast while they're driving in traffic, going to work or coming home from work, vibing out, windows down, top down.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's really supposed to be something about having fun.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you know what? After listening to the album, I can agree with that. It's definitely like high energy. It's fun. It's catchy.
Yeah.
I really like what you said, Tyler, about like really sitting on just the music before you moved into lyrics and things like that. It's noticeable. Like sonically, the album is really well produced. So like applause to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because I feel like for folks who just consume music but don't really know the background side of things, production is a whole, like, its own ball game, essentially.
Yeah.
So props to you guys for that, because the energy flows really nicely through the album, and the track listing and order you've decided on it really benefits that like fun energy.
Cool. Yeah. That part was very intentional as well, of letting it, because we basically made like, Alex, I think it was like 30 demos.
Yeah, we had about 30. I mean, we have another cool half of a new project, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
When it came time to actually like bring these to like, okay, let's go flush these out, then we had to be like, all right, which one should we pick? Should we pick this one? Should we pick this one? And it was just musically of then kind of playing this like music Jenga of like which ones made sense. If we were gonna do like a record, and it was like, do we do 12? Do we do 15? 12 feels cool. Maybe we do like a little Japanese bonus track in there, and we'll do 13 kind of thing. But
You have to listen to the whole CD to get to the end of it.
yeah. maybe there's one. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We were very intentional about it all, and I'm glad it came across that way. That's super sick.
Yeah, definitely, because you guys, this would be establishing as a new artist, right? MOVIESTARZ. This is kind of your first debut, really.
Yeah.
But obviously with your experience doing other projects in the past, do you feel like a kind of unspoken pressure with putting out something as a new artist, kind of a thing?
Zero for me. I went into this in this whole thing with absolutely no expectations. Like I just, as a whole, because it's just, we've doing is the other things we've done for so long, being at like, playing in front of a big, huge crowd, playing huge shows, playing on tours. It, you, I've seen so many other sides of the music industry that everyone's read about and heard about and all that stuff. And um, it's not like I'm like throwing in the towel on it, but it's like, this is just doing it for the sake of doing it. And at the absolute like highest level I'd want it to be done at. Like it's completely thoroughly us. It's completely thoroughly what like we want it to be, presented how we want it to be presented, sound how we want it to sound, and like without, and however that comes across, and if people like it and it becomes huge, that's what I hope. Great.
Mhm.
If we end up getting 5 listens on Spotify, cool. I'm just as happy with it. You know what I mean? Like it's all good.
Okay, so you're not striving necessarily. Well,
Mm.
obviously you would want it to be successful, but you're not
I want
striving
a
for
Grammy.
that.
That's what I want. I want to win a Grammy. I want to play SoFi Stadium and headline Coachella. But if that doesn't happen, and it's all good. I'm not saying I
Gotcha.
don't
Okay.
want those things. That sounds very fun. That sounds very cool.
Got you. Okay.
How would
Yeah.
you guys implement a marketing strategy being a new artist? Like, would you combine your merch stuff with MOVIESTARZ and kind of like do a special drop?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink. Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
he's actually wearing a MOVIESTARZ t-shirt.
Yeah. This
I
is
noticed that.
this
Yeah,
is
I
the
can
shirt.
recognize that one.
Yeah, so we have a prior to us doing MOVIESTARZ together, we've had a brand called Newport Bleach that we kind of unintentionally put out during COVID. We were kind of doing it anyways, and then the world shut down, and then we just kept doing it. So
Mhm.
it was always, we kind of hated a lot of the merch that our favorite bands would make. So I've done graphic design for a long time, and our love of fashion and all that. We were like, let's just make our own merch for bands we like and make it like rare, kind of like one of one pieces. We found really, really nice blanks that we love to use that have like a great, like it's a modal cotton that is super soft, and a lot of like luxury brands wear it. So this became its own little thing that we were doing creatively too. And then once we started talking about doing a new project, it just was always kind of like, yeah, like we'll make the merch for, we'll make like these really cool pieces for our new band, and then have it all kind of tie together and be this little world that I kind of kept referencing to. We grew up when like Blink used to sell their shirts on Loser Kids, which was like loserkids.com was like Mark and Com's little like Tillies, but it was like their online Tillies. And it
Mhm.
just had all their favorite brands and stuff then. And so that's kind of what like I see Newport Bleach is a little bit, is like it'll have our merch, it'll have our friends' merch, it'll have bootleg stuff we make that we just think is cool that other bands wouldn't make,
Mhm.
that we want to
Mhm.
sell.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
a marketplace kind of thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
and it's this little like universe that, if you go to buy a movie star shirt, cool, but if you see something else you like, you're still kind of like rocking with us, and that's still fun also.
Yeah, two of my favorites was the Live, Laugh, Limp Bizkit. I
Sick.
howled when I saw that. That one, and then the Last Hope candle. I was like,
Oh,
brilliant.
sick. Hell
Dope.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'll send you them. Make sure you give Carrie your
Oh,
address, and
oh
I'll
my
I'll,
God, I will
I'll get
totally
them to you.
rep.
Done. No problem.
Yeah, I will totally rep. So you said, Tyler, that you do graphic design. Alex, are you kind of a traditional artist in that way as
I do
well?
a
Or do
lot
you
of
just go,
the
yep, that looks good, Tyler?
Yeah, I'll do a lot of that. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'll take those art files that he sends me, and then because I work at a like a shirt print shop, so I have like the ability to print whatever
Oh,
I want.
sick.
So that's kind of how that started. He figured out I was working at this place, and I kind of had a lot of, I have a lot of flexibility and things, and whatever art he sends me, I'll like pull, I'll print it today, and we'll kind of look at it and see if it's cool and it resonates with us, and then at some point we'll drop it. Like I mean, literally, I think yesterday, me and him were talking about the next kind of collection or pieces that we want to release with the next songs we want to put out with that. So but yeah, like he sends me the art. He tells me, oh, it has to be like this size or whatever, and then I'll kind of just eyeball it and then bring it to life.
Yeah,
Got
Alex
you.
does a
Okay.
That's
lot
so
of the like
exciting.
printing for some really cool like fashion brands.
Yeah.
He's playing it down, but he has some cool ones that he does print for and does some rad stuff for. So it'll like clue us into like other like little printing styles and things to like add to it to kind of make it more unique and one-off pieces. And we want like our merch to be like the dopest merch too. That was like, it's fun kind of starting this, like we started this little thing together, and then going into this, it's been easy to like plug in a new movie stars design or this to like something we're like, oh cool, we've already done candles, we've already done custom crew necks or this, and
Yeah.
let's print this way, this a puff print, you know, so it lays differently or reflective or glow in the dark, or you know, it's cool things a lot of people can do like that. We love messing with, and it's fun.
Yeah, being in that fashion world, there's a lot of things that I have tend to steal and take, you know, and kind of bring it into our
Draw
world.
inspiration from.
Yeah, draw inspiration. That's a good word right there. Yeah, I've seen a lot of, you know, designer brands and streetwear brands and just brands that people start, and I just see things come and go in and out, and I see like what's hot, what's not, things that I'm just like, oh, that's pretty cool. I think we should do that for our stuff, you know, not copy it
Yesterday
completely, but
yesterday I was at the Skim store shopping for new bras, and and they had
the ones with the nipples. Those ones are so cool.
he was
exactly.
shopping for me.
Yes, for Alex. And one of the hoodies had like the Skims logo like embossed into it. So it was like embossed into the actual hoodie. So I sent him a photo. I'm like, how do we do this?
Mhm.
I was like, this will look sick for a movie star thing. Or
Yeah, and I was
whatever.
like, oh yeah,
So-
that's 3D embossing. Oh yeah, I don't know where to get that done, but I'm pretty sure I can figure it out.
Yeah. So
Oh, hell yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I kind of have a similar story. In the pandemic, I started my own fashion thing too because I came
Sick.
from a graphic design background. I was like,
rad.
fuck, how do I make money now that the world is shut down?
Yeah.
So I taught myself how to screen print at home, and like I tried to get like a halogen bulb to put the shit into the screen. That was the worst. I
Oh,
hated that part.
fuck.
Oh wow.
But it was so fun to like learn a new skill and to like apply the digital side of art, and then doing the not analog, but you know, tangible part of it. So
Yeah.
I can relate to that part, and it's cool. So
Heck
I'm
yeah.
inspired by you guys seeing it all.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Epic. Yeah, keep going. I love it. What's it called?
It's called Senior. It's for emo kids in their adult years. I've paused
Nice.
it for a little bit.
That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Is it spelled
you.
SCENE? Like, or how do you spell it?
Yeah.
A clever
Like
spelling.
exactly like Senior. Yeah.
I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I'm big into marketing.
Very nice.
You guys did something really cool with Newport Bleach, though. You guys collabed with Heidi and Spencer
Mm-hmm.
to help them when the LA wildfires hit.
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
Yeah, I've done a lot of Spencer's design with his crystal company, his Pratt Daddy Crystals. So I've been doing like that stuff for him for almost 10 years now. We've just been friends. And then I was bugging him forever, and I said, hey, we need to do Heidi merch. We need to do Heidi merch. We need to do Heidi
Mhm.
merch. It would do so well. I know it would kill it. I know it would kill it. And he'd be like, yeah. And he kind of pushed it off and just you're like, no, leave it alone. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And then finally he was like, all right, let's do Heidi merch. I was like, all right, let's do Heidi merch. And so it's actually, we've been doing it for like the past like year-ish. And then obviously all the, tragedy in LA, the other LA tragedy, whichever LA tragedy of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck.
But that LA tragedy, that was awful. The fires, everyone lost their house in Palisades, Altadena, and all the area. So it was just, there was a ton of support for them that everybody just kind of jumped on immediately and wanted to grab the Heidi merch. And we were happy to have keep cranking that out for her. We made a really cool custom hoodie, some hats, all that.
Yeah.
We gave away just free clothes to people in Palisades and Altadena. Like that day it happened, I just threw it up on our page. I was like, anybody needs clothes, send me your address and I'll send it to you right now, or send me the address I could send it to. And I think we ended up sending out like 100 boxes just to people that, kind of found us or whatever. And it was just it's cool to help out in that.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
We love Spencer and Heidi. They're great. And her new record just came out too. Heidi Wood.
Did you-
It's fire.
Very pop.
did
very
it?
very in the pop.
Yeah,
lane.
come on,
Yeah.
Mishko. You're not a Heidi Wood?
I have not seen this. I didn't.
I
knew
thought
she
you were the
did-
pop
she-
guy.
I am the pop guy, but I didn't realize that she had done a new album because I'd only ever listened to her old music.
No, it's a
So-
full new record. It's great.
Okay, I'll have to go check it out.
Maybe
It's
didn't
super
it,
campy and super like it is what it is, but she killed it. They worked with great people.
Okay.
Actually,
I'll check it out for sure.
Callie, who sings on one of our songs, wrote about like 5 songs on that album. So she sang
Oh,
on one
wow.
of the songs on our record, and
Oh,
she
that's
helped
fun.
co-write.
Yeah.
I believe like I think she has 4 or 5 songs on Heidi Wood.
Mhm.
So yeah, that album's dope. We're happy for her.
Okay,
Oh my God,
cool. Thanks.
That's
I'll
exciting.
go
Is it
check
the
it
album
out.
of the summer?
Say it again.
Is it the album of the summer?
Yeah, it's Heidi Wood Summer, not Brat Summer.
Heidi Wood Summer.
And movie
No
stars.
Turnstile summer. It's
And-
Heidi
and
Wood.
Turnstile.
No, it's,
Yeah,
Turnstile. It's absolutely Turnstile Summer. Kind of movie star summer.
I actually just listened to it today.
Did you like it?
I did. Honestly, like, I'm gonna be so honest. And I'll disclose by saying I do love Turnstile. I swear to God, they make the same like 3 songs, and I love it every time.
Yeah.
I love it every time. It's the same 3 songs. It's the exact same riff. It's the
Yeah.
exact same feel sonically.
Yeah.
It's the same sound, and I love it. I eat it up.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Like dull, fucking great. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Soul, amazing.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Great.
Who would be a dream collab for you guys in the music world and in the fashion world?
Oh, that's a good question. Like that we'd have to do both together, like a music fashion thing.
If you wanted to. Yeah,
Mm.
sure.
We've always said we'd love to design Blink's merch. If I could do Blink's merch, I'd kill it for them. I'd make them so much money, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if I had full
We'll
creative
put it out
control
there.
That'd be our
of-
ultimate
full creative
one.
control of Blink's merch, they'd kill it. But no, I guess dream. Alex, you go on music. Who do you want?
I don't know, man. Blink for sure. Maybe it's I don't know what brands we would want to work with in that.
I'd do a Charlie song. Charlie would be
Yeah.
sick. I'd love to do produce a Charlie song.
That would be
I feel like
cool.
it's some, she obviously works with new random people all the time, and so I feel like put that out there. Why not?
Yeah.
100% I could see that.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
Yeah.
What
Uh,
brands? Fashion brands?
It's like Brain Dead. That would make sense
Brain-
for us. They're like
Brain
a
Dead,
cool
yeah.
brand that would do I think would fit like the Newport Bleach and Movie Stars kind of world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aim Leon Dore is awesome. They're a New York based brand. They're a little chicer, but definitely still really cool, nice pieces.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Going back to the record for a minute.
Yeah.
So the record's got 12 tracks on it. Are there going to be any secret ones or extras that we should know about, or is that undecided still?
We have one that was we wrote it and it's demoed out and done. So I just have to go finish a final vocal on it and then it'd be done. So we were thinking about that'd probably be a deluxe thing or a little bonus thing that we'll toss out probably after the whole thing's out. So there'll probably be
Gotcha.
one more after the first 12, but
Mhm.
there's going to be,
Okay.
there's going to be so many more movie star songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only the beginning.
Yeah. After this, it's just, there'll be hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you guys put a lot of thought into the visual aspect as well. I watched the music video for Club Punk and it was really fun. Are you guys kind of in the video production part of it too? Are you in full control?
Yeah, we didn't do the video. Or the guy that did the artwork for everything, his name's Bill Green. He goes by Hands Out of Pockets on Instagram and all the social media stuff. We both just love his style, and we felt like it's such a it's very playful, childlike. It feels very rip out a magazine and make a collage. It feels punk. It feels
Mhm.
Sex
Yeah.
Pistols, but it feels like it could also be a Saint Laurent t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it checks so many boxes for us, and I think he's totally seen our vision. He loves the record too.
Yeah,
so
he
got to,
he nailed that video, just adding his flair to it, because we got the clips, but then he just started to add on top of it, which just elevated the whole thing.
Yeah, we sent him just little like, hey, here's some things we like. Definitely this kind of like aesthetically, and he'd be like, okay, cool, got it. And he kind of gets our vision really well. So he was a great person to bring on to handle a big chunk of that. But yeah, we ultimately like, there's stuff he's done that we've been like, nah, here, do another pass on that and just provide a little direction on. And but he's been a great person to collaborate with on. And I'm sure we're so happy with how it came out. So thank you.
Yeah, I feel like it really fit into like the DIY kind of aesthetic part of it, but also very nostalgic in a way,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was nice.
It didn't
What would
feel.
you imagine? Oh, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. It didn't feel like we were trying too hard, but we did. It was a lot of intention going into the art part of it. But yeah.
Right. Well, we talk about on this show a lot how Gen Z is really against the like kind of try hard attitude and kind of angle of things. So did you feel that pressure of like we want to put ourselves into this as much as possible and make a good piece of art, but then at the same time like it has to kind of come off cool?
Yeah, yeah, you go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's like a great. I think that's why he checked a lot of boxes for us on this too, because I think it doesn't look like a major label put it out, but it does,
Right.
and that was it looks very refined and like well done, but it doesn't look like it was a part of like a corporate like board pitch of like we need a band to look like this.
Got you.
It still feels, I think, cool and new and fresh and
Exactly.
and different, and that was our goal. I always say this. I've said it before. I think one of
What could
the
you
worst
envision
quotes ever
for
is
live
"Don't judge a
shows?
book by its cover," because I always say if the book is so good, then they should have made the cover look great also. And if they didn't, they were lazy on their art piece because they spent all this time writing this book, but then they cheaped out or didn't make some good art for the front. Come on, like. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's an awful piece of advice. Like no, you should absolutely make the cover incredible because the like, branding, it's the first thing people see. It should be because there's been so many books. If you're in Barnes and Noble, your eye is just going to gravitate to what you think is cool. So like, of course, the
Mhm.
cover needs to, even if it's not what you're looking for, you're just if it's a bright neon green book, you're gonna see the bright neon green. It's just gonna grab you. It's the.
Yeah.
So yes,
And of
we
course,
tried to.
with TikTok and everything, video is such a big medium now that if you're not going to put kind of that effort in to make it polished, but also cool and kind of meet the aesthetic, then what was the point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Got you. Okay.
100%.
It also goes back to like the album art, like when people would look through vinyls. Like sometimes I would pick out a vinyl purely because the album art was cool,
Yeah.
not knowing who the band was at all. And like going on iTunes and like making sure all of the album art was on there for my iPod. I
Heck
was like, this
yeah.
needs to be perfect.
So one of the things that we did with our clothing brand, when I would say like I didn't like a lot of the like merch that bands we like would make, is because I feel like they would have like, especially if you go to like a lot of 80s and 90s bands when they would make like 7 inches and they would have like different artwork for things from that era. But then the 7 inch artwork was made during that time. And then it literally was printed on one thing that they sold 100 of and then never to be seen again. But that art is so cool. So we're like, what if we put that art on merch and like kind of ripped it that way? And so then that made us think of when we were doing this, we want to make art for every song as if there was like a 7 inch for every song. So that way every song kind of had its own thing. Just to even think of like the booklet, like, because we love that too. We grew up in the 90s, 2000s, where you buy the CD and you flip through all that. It would be so like, it's what would put you in that like artist's world. You'd be in their universe. And that's like,
Mhm.
we wanted to make sure to like paint that picture to like be kind of in our brain for it.
Got you. And that's definitely like, that's one of the things I remember from the early 2000s and the late 90s, like opening up a new CD and looking at all the lyrics and even
Heck
like
yeah.
the font face that they use or things like that. It can make a huge difference.
Oh, 100%. That was all so important.
Who has the worst merch from the bands that you were talking about? Like who was the example that you're like, "Oh fuck, this band's merch
A
sucks."
no-brainer in the back of his background there.
Okay, well, I mean, like I said, I would I would make Blink-182 a lot of money if I just got to fix a couple things. Not that they need any more money, but it's okay.
No, but here's the thing.
Um,
They had good shit back in the day. I don't know what happened in the art department years later.
You're
Well, did
talking
you see
to
what
two people with
Travis
like Blink
Barker
tattoos, so we
released?
love them. But
Yeah, we
Oh, the
love
Hurley
them. We love
collab?
them
I
a
know,
lot.
I
We
saw.
love them a lot.
Yeah. No, what was the thing that Travis he put all those like metal shirts in like a collage on shorts or something, and then it was like $5,000. And you're
oh,
like,
yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a fever dream I had or if that actually happened, but I was
Yeah.
like, damn, bro, those aren't even your music.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
it's not punk at all.
Yeah, that happened for sure. Whose merch that like really is trash?
Terrible. Who has trash merch?
I mean, Sum 41's isn't great. I'll be real. Like, I don't know. I love them too. I'd kill to do their stuff. I don't think any of it's. I don't know. I always try to be like, who are you catering to? Who are you trying to sell this to? Like, I'm curious who they think their buyer is, like, and how they like. It's interesting to me of why they make that the merch that they make. Like, you would think they would kind of understand their demographic, I guess, a little better, but then I think maybe they're trying to play to a younger generation always. So then maybe they think that's what the younger generation thinks is cool. And then I think they're just missing the mark on like all of it, unfortunately.
There's a little bit of a disconnect there. And that
Yeah.
actually prompts me to my next question. Who, in your mind, who is your audience for Movie Stars?
I think everyone, honestly, and we tried to do that in the music too. I think if you're a elder emo pop punk, grew up in that time, I think there's something about this you could fuck with. I think if you're like younger, TikTok, you're finding music through there, I think there's something you could find that you'd like about this that would maybe open you up to the other stuff that we pull influence to. And that's kind of what I hope happens. I hope like if somebody listens to our album, there's a part of it that they go, oh, I really like that. Like there's a song on it called Listening. And there's like a part that we pulled from this band Fall of Troy,
Okay.
which is like
Mhm.
a super deep cut 2000s random band. And they had a really popular song called FCP Remix. It was just incredible.
Yes, they did.
And
It's on
it's
Guitar Hero.
a lot of
Hero.
people
I was
know
just
it
gonna
from
say
Guitar
that, Guitar
Hero.
Hero. Yeah.
So, but like through like while we had like a Charlie XCX influence, we were like, oh shit, what if we put that like this Fall of Troy thing right here? And it would just be so random, but I hope someone like listens to it because they find like our hyperpop stuff and then maybe listen to that and go, that's really cool. And then go find other, or and vice versa. Like that's what we kind of wanted to happen with this and why we tried to purposely mash stuff, but all make it cohesive and make sense. And I think we gave ourselves like a kind of tall task with that, but I think we did it and I think it's cool.
Gotcha. Okay. I have a question related to production for a sec.
Sure.
So the one thing I noticed when I was listening through, so you have your lead vocal as your lower register vocal, and generally in pop music, it's the higher register that we hear up front and forward. Was that a conscious decision, or like why did you decide to do that, or why did you not layer in more harmonies in there? Just out of curiosity.
I think at least for me, as far as production goes, I think I think Tyler's vocals meshed really well when at some points the lows were more of the prominent thing and the high vocals were maybe under it a little bit. But then there's some songs where it's kind of the opposite. I think we were just kind of playing with his tone and how it would fit the music and let it flow really well. And we kind of were cautious about, or not cautious, but we kind of thought of that as a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I also personally was so critical of my voice because I kind of like hated it at first.
And this is
That
also this was also his first debut singing.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so it
Yeah.
was all very new for him too, So I think being able to think of his voice as an instrument and making it mesh well with the songs was definitely something we were thinking into as we were recording vocals. Like, oh, I think that his high should be here or in this part, and then the low should be more prominent here. So we're very like aware with that kind of thing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I
Yeah.
think that you did a good job with that meshing because sonically the instrumentation is so maximalist, and then when you throw that vocal on top but have that low forward, it really kind of emphasizes that maximalism. So I think you guys did a great job
Thank
with
you.
that, in my personal opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So it seems like you guys are trying to like break the mold of what people kind of feel of what a genre is supposed to be or what sounds are supposed to be within certain genres. Does it matter to you with this project, or was it just kind of like you said, for fun, like we're just doing whatever comes?
Yeah, I think I definitely would like to double down on the electronic stuff, but I mean, who knows? We could probably do like a turnstile style track, but then, go into that whole thing that they also do with like these like electronic things, which is kind of funny. Listening to that album kind of reminded me of the stuff that we were doing like earlier on until we realized what we really wanted the sound to be. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I think right now we're gonna, when we release this album, I think people will get wind of what we sound like. But then me and Tyler are usually like, we like to surprise and be different. So who knows? It could be a different sound then, but still have that core that we, developed in that time. So
I would really think like I remember when we were like having like earlier conversations about this project and to answer your original thing, like yes, like we purposely were like breaking genre. There was no like rules with this at all. Like it was let's do this just because if it sounded cool to us, we were down. So if it had like a cool keyboard thing, great. If it had this like whooshy, sonic-y, kind of more like ethereal vibe, awesome. Let's put a crunchy guitar over that. Let's see what happens, like. So it was just to be like, how do we sound like Ellie Goulding meets Turnstile meets Blink meets Charlie meets Gorillaz meets, like it was like there's everything we like fuck with. Like, how do we match it all together? I think like what I think would be so cool with this project is if, the next record, maybe it sounds like this again, where we kind of mash things, but then maybe record 3 is just a full like punk album.
yeah,
Maybe it's a
Yeah.
full just house album. Maybe it's just a full like maybe album 5 is back to we do full, you know what I mean? Like, and I would want it to make sense. It would be like, oh, great. Like if you're a fan of movie stars, it's what you'd expect. It'd just be kind of like keeping you on your toes. We really love 1975 also. I got really into them and brought a lot of it to Alex. And so I really feel like that's what they do. I think they live in this kind of like, they'll be like bluesy for a second, then it'll be a straightforward pop song for a second, then it'll go super weird electronic for a second, and it's all the 1975. And I think this was our version of that, with our influences, kind of with
I think for lack of a better word, the genre that you guys have fallen kind of into, this album to me seems like it would be something that you could release like a remix album and it would do really, really well. I was listening to a few of them and I was like, oh, if you just like brought the tempo down on this and threw in some hollow drums and some deep house kind of vibes, like this could be really fun. Not to say that the album is not fun, it is very fun. But I could definitely see how a lot of these songs would translate into like a deluxe version or into a remix album really easily.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yes.
Maybe we'll
100%.
do the Brat, but it's completely different approach.
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah.
which
Movie stars,
I'm
but
not opposed to. So
If you do that though, Tyler,
movie stars, but we didn't produce it.
Yeah.
well, we didn't produce it. Hey, there we go.
if you do that though, Tyler, you have to give me one of those like pop punky or like metally screams with the happiness sound in the background. That is the challenge for you vocally that I'm giving you.
All right. Done.
Sweet.
So you want me to go like poppy mode?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Hell
Poppy.
yeah, I want you to go poppy
Okay.
mode.
I love I love Poppy so much, so
Same.
I will do my best.
Sweet.
Yes.
If you learn, can you also teach me? I'm dying to know. I feel like that's a skill that I should just have, but it's
Wait,
hard.
when Knock Loose just did Jimmy Kimmel
Hmm.
with them, but then he did the full blown pig squeal on, on ABC. Like it's just so crazy. Like he did the most like hardcore like metal like just like thing ever on ABC, which just like is so funny to think about. It's like that.
Did
It's
you
owned
see
by
the
Disney, and he's just like
Did you see the
flames
comments?
and Poppy. Like, oh yeah, it was the comments were the best part. Yeah, that whole
You're
moment was incredible.
like, oh my god, my child is gonna turn to Satanism, and what is this? What is
Yeah,
this music? It's
I
like it's
loved it.
fucking great.
It's so good.
Well, I'm
So good.
excited for you guys to catch wind with this new album. Do you have anything else that you want to tease, or can you let us know where people can find you online?
Yeah, we're movie stars with 4 Z's on everything. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the stuff. No reason for 4 Z's. It was just the other one was taken. So there you go. But oh no, literally tonight we have 2 songs. Chaos and Tear This Apart are both out today. I don't know if you're not dropping this today, but by the time this comes out, we'll have 2 more songs out.
Yeah.
Chaos and the Magic is definitely a very cool one that we actually almost cut. I was like at the point of being like, I actually don't want this on the record.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the very first ones that we made. I had the lyrics written basically like immediately. It just kind of like flew out. But the way it came across was definitely more in the pop punk world. And I don't know, just it kind of like lagged and felt like a downer point in the album as opposed to like a good flow point in the album. So then I was like, let's just I'm like done with it. Let's just work on something else. Let's work, let's write a new one. We'll just can this one for now. But then we also the guys in the fund who we did the record with were like, well, it needs to be up, so let's just speed it up. And
Yeah.
then it just turned into
Sped
full
up and
like
pitched up. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, and they just kind of like I was jokingly being like, make me sound go 100 gex, like I don't care, like. And then we went full 100 gex on it, and then what's the song, Alex? The Tuesday. Who sings Tuesday?
Oh, Toro y Moi, right?
Yes. Then that song we would both jam all the time and pull up all the time as like a big reference point for this. And we're like, what if we make the end kind of give it that like drivey kind of more like punk but pop thing. And it was putting those two together. And then we were like, everyone in the room was like, this is amazing, like done, like this is it. Okay,
Yeah.
sold. And then Tear This Apart was always one of the more like housey, electronic-y leaning ones that just came out really quickly. We chopped it up, we made it cool. And then we're like, what if we put these two together? What if you make it like, this kind of outro into it, so it like kind of sonically leads there and it all kind of makes sense. And
Oh, I love that.
that was like a Turnstile thing that we loved what they do of like having the whole album just flow and be this peak valley thing. That was a great one. So both of those will be out when this is out, and I hope people listen to them that way. If you can, listen to Chaos and Chaos and the Magic and Tear This Apart back to back, because it's how that flows in the album, and I think it's fun.
Yeah, personally, I think Tear This Apart was one of my favorite tracks.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
I love that one.
Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, actually.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, a couple of the trio we worked with, the fun guys that did that produced it. 2 of them said that was almost their favorite too. So I feel like that might be a sleeper that maybe takes on a life, which could be cool.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Really appreciate that.
All right, so we'll make sure to throw up your movie stars with 4 Z's up on the screen for everybody who's watching. So anybody who's watching or listening, make sure you go check them out on all the platforms. And yeah, we'll be waiting to see when one of your singles hits the top 10 on Billboard.
Hey,
You'll
me
see
too.
it.
I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode. If you liked this episode, do us a really big favor and please like, comment, and subscribe, or give us a rating on whatever podcast platform you are consuming this media on. It really helps us out.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.